Well guys, the 99-cent PC, aka the Windows 98 gaming PC project, is up and running. Got the new 10 gigabyte hard drive. Yeah, it took 3 months to find a proper eBay seller, but it was so worth it. This drive is quiet. It's working beautifully. It is brand new, never been used. I opened it up from its sealed package, which was kind of fun. It wasn't a retail package, it was like an OEM bulk package. I know this because I buy them that way myself. I buy them in cases rather than, onesie twosies. But yeah, it was a bulk package drive, and it is performing flawlessly. So, anyway, where are we? Yes, I wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind for a while, and it just came up in a forum that I'm a member of. And it has to do with people not understanding the purpose of, or the MO of a computer collector. So I've been getting this a lot over the years. I would do a video of one of my vintage laptops, and I would do like an install of Windows 95, 98, even XP in some cases. And then I get a bunch of people that keep asking me the same question over and over and over and over again. And they say, why didn't you put Linux on it? To some people, Linux is the answer to all of life's problems. If there's a computer that exists, it must be running Linux. There is no other substitute. Linux is superior to Windows in every way. And while I won't argue with that, because absolutely, Linux is a very great operating system. It has its place. It just doesn't have its place in my house. I use it at work. We use it on a lot of our servers as a host operating system for VMs. We have a lot of those kicking around. I used to use Linux, Ubuntu Linux, on my imaging server. Though I have one, it's actually running on a laptop, but I would use it to image workstations. And in the off chance that it actually worked correctly, it was great. I had nothing but headaches with it. I mean, if I had to, it was a bitch to run. Mainly because, I'm not that great with the command line interface. And one of the problems with Linux is everything is locked down by default, so you have to kind of go around all that just to make simple configuration changes. It's kind of a pain in the ass to me, but whatever. It has its place. It does work when it works. But on these machines, on these older workstations, laptops, and etc., what I'm trying to achieve is not put the computer back into circulation or put it back into use. And we'll touch on that in a little bit later on. But that's not what I'm trying to accomplish. What I'm trying to accomplish is I'm trying to restore the machine to its original state with all flaws. And that's to preserve history. When a true automotive restoration expert or enthusiast restores a Model T, and he's trying to restore it back to its original condition, he's not going to drop a small block Chevy V8 in it, unless he's trying to build a hot rod. Kind of the same thing. Not really, but kind of. Same idea, same concept. If you're trying to restore an antique car, restore, not resto mod, then you're going to put an original, restored, rebuilt, 4-cylinder Ford engine from 1912 or whatever. And that's what you're going to do. You're not going to put a small block Chevy in it. Even though the small block Chevy is cheaper, more reliable, more efficient. The list goes on and on. The superiority of that small block Chevy should not be overlooked. It's a way better engine than the old 4-cylinder Ford, which only put out like 20 horsepower, okay, and lasted for like 10,000 miles before rebuilds. Before it needed to be rebuilt, like 10, 20,000 miles. Think of it that way. While Linux may be a superior OS to Windows 98, I won't argue with you there. It's infinitely more customizable. It's licensed differently. It's open license rather than, anyone can install it legally for free. Depending on the distribution, of course. Some of the distributions are paid. But, regardless of all that, I wasn't trying to build a Linux box. Why would I go out of my way to find an antique, well, it's 20 years old, an old 20-year-old computer system just to put Linux on it so I can use it again, when I have an infinite supply? And I mean, I have access to whatever vintage system, well, whatever 5 or 6 year old system I want. So if I wanted a system that was to be used for actual daily tasks, I would use one of those, and then I'd maybe put Linux on it. But these classic machines from yesteryear, they're not candidates for that. I mean, I really did go out of my way to find all the parts that you see here, the printer, the speakers, the keyboard, the mouse, even the monitor. Went out of my way to acquire all these things just so that I could build a Windows 98 gaming machine. That was the purpose of this project. Now, getting back to putting Linux on machines to give to other people, this came up in either, it was a forum post? I think it was a forum post just recently. And those of you who are watching this, who are on that forum, know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm going to say. Yes, you can put Linux on an old dumpy computer and give it away to somebody who needs a computer. But there's one thing you have to understand and you have to realize, and why is this thing out of focus? Come on. Seriously, dude? One thing you have to understand, you can't ignore this, is the support aspect of it. When I was a kid, living in that mobile home park that I've referred to many times over the course of the last few years, I was the neighborhood computer support guy. That's what got me started. That's where I started learning a lot of what enough material to really move on and become a career computer IT support guy. This is where I cut my teeth, supporting people. One thing that some of us don't understand, some of us don't quite get it because it comes so easy to us. I can't understand why an average person, can't fix a lawnmower engine because they're so damn simple. But they're simple to me. Supporting a Windows system or using a Windows system or even a Mac, it comes naturally to me. I know how the software is put together. Well, I know what they're thinking when they design the interfaces, so I know how to find things. The average person doesn't think that way. So when they get used to something, let's say my Aunt Sandy, for example. She's a great example. She's a real person. Her name really is Sandy, and she is my aunt. It took her a couple of years to get used to Windows. She was given a Windows computer years ago. A family member gave it to her. Not me. And she learned how to use it on her own. It took her a long time and a lot of calls, a lot of phone calls to everybody, including me. How do I do this? How do I do that? And it takes up my time. It takes up her time. It takes up everybody's time. Every time somebody has to go there to fix what she screwed up, it takes time. Of course, she learns a little bit each time. Each time she makes a mistake, she learns something. That's how it should work. Sometimes they make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Then you suddenly say, well, okay, and she says, oh, well, I need a new computer now because this one is dead. And that actually happened. That actually did happen. If she couldn't afford to go out and buy a computer, which I helped her find, let's say she didn't have the $600 or whatever it cost her for a new machine, I'd be like, oh, well, here's this old computer. It's got Linux on it now because Linux is free and Linux is the best because that's what the internet tells me. Here's this new Linux machine. Why don't you go use that now? And then she says, well, I don't know how to use it. So here we are, back to square one. I have to train somebody who's not a computer user or doesn't have the mindset of an advanced computer user. I have to train this person now on another operating system. And then she says, oh, well, there's this program I need to run. You know, it's a, I don't know, whatever it may be. It's required because I have this bank account, and the bank says I have to have this program to run or something so I can access my account. It's a security thing. I'd be like, well, that's not going to work. Good luck. Or I have this game that I want to play, and I bought it at Best Buy. It's a game. I want to play this game. I'm like, I'm sorry, can't play that game. Well, I opened the box. Too bad. You opened the box, and now you can't return it. You know, do you understand, do you guys understand that these are real scenarios? Yes, you can build a machine and load it up with all the more commonly usable, you know, like a word processor and some games for Linux. Linux has plenty of, I'm sure there's a wealth of applications for Linux, but that doesn't work for everybody. And that would and of all the people that I know that I interact with and help and support on a daily basis, that would not be an acceptable solution for any of them. My cousin, he's probably watching this. If he is, hey, how you doing? My cousin switched to Linux on his primary machine. Now he is more, I'll admit, he's a smarter guy than I am. He's more advanced. He's a faster learner. He really is. I mean, I got to give him credit. He's a pretty intelligent guy, and he's more into computer usage than I am. I'm more into the support side of it. I hate computers, but I really do. He's more into he's into programming and stuff, and web design. He loves web design. So he went and he switched his entire workstation over to Linux. I forget what version, and he's smart. He does his research. I think he regretted it very quickly because he went back to Windows. I think he went back to Windows 7 or Windows 10. I don't know which one. But it didn't take him long. He really did. He actually went back to Windows. He's like, I can't do this. This is a nightmare. I think, if I'm wrong, correct me later. If you're watching, let me know. I could be wrong. I think I got your story right. But I believe you did go back to Windows. You know who you are. But, you know, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, it's like Linux is a great operating system, but it has its place. It has its purpose. It has its strengths and weaknesses. For me, I prefer commercial operating systems because they just work. Almost always. I don't have the issues that a lot of people have with Windows. I mean, I have my reservations, and I hate the fact that it's spying on me, but if Windows and Mac OS isn't spying on me, guess who is? The ISP. Google. You know, Facebook, Twitter. Every corporate website you visit is tracking you. Unless you have, you know, activity blockers. And some websites won't even load if you have, you know, tracking blockers and cookies disabled and shit. Some websites won't even let you go through. But, you know, it's like, you got to open your mind. You got to open your mind to the needs of other people. If Linux works for you, wonderful. You know, you're a king of kings or a queen of queens. Good for you. You're lucky. You're fortunate. Linux will solve all of your problems, but don't try to push it on everybody else. You know, I mean, not everybody. Another thing is, there's a certain arrogance that I find with Linux users because they really think that they're superior to a lot of other people. I find that a lot of the people that I know that depend on Linux, that use it all the time, they really think that, you know, I'm inferior because I use Mac OS or I use Windows. Even a good friend of mine who actually just got a job at Google. He's an IT security guy, and even he struggles with Linux. He's in IT security. I mean, he just got a job at fucking Google, and he as over the years, I mean, him and I have talked, and he wasn't too thrilled with it either. He uses Mac OS, by the way. So it's just like, you know, I'm sure he knows how to use Linux, but he prefers Mac OS. But I guess I just wanted to have that conversation with my viewers because I feel that it needs to happen. Now, back to the home theater PC project. We got to talk about it. Did I say that? I didn't mean that. Back to the Windows 98 gaming PC. That's what we're going to talk about now. As of right now, so I got the new hard drive. That's clicking away just fine. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. I had some, you know, this has actually occurred over the past couple of years. I've had people suggest I switch over to SSDs on some of my machines, laptops and such. I'm totally with you guys, honestly. My MacBook Pro, I'm just waiting for the SSDs to come down even more. I'm waiting for them to be practically free and the capacity to get big enough to where I can actually justify the switch over. But my MacBook Pro, the 13-inch, now that Mac OS supports trim and I believe garbage collection, now that it's natively supported for third-party drives, at least that's what I read, I'm actually going to look into that. I'm going to put it on my MacBook Pro because that's my daily driver. And I want it to be faster. It is slow. It is a slow fucking machine. And it doesn't have to be. It's a great candidate for an SSD, and that'll be the first one I ever install. Where I work, we're going for capacity and cost. So whenever I work on any machine, it has to have a hard drive. So I've never actually bought and installed an SSD. I'm almost embarrassed to say that, but that's the truth. Where I work, we don't work with, you know, boutique and high-end stuff. It's all low-end. You know, what can be done for the cheapest amount of money, that's what we do. We need capacity and we need low cost. And for the past couple of years, and reliability. And for the past couple of years, you know, SSDs have been priced and sized out of our range. But all of our new MacBook Airs, they all have, you know, the Apple SSDs in them, the proprietary ones. So anyway, I just wanted to say that yes, the MacBook Pro is getting an SSD, and I'm considering yanking out the optical drive, which is flaking out on it, and putting in a hard drive mount. So I can have I'm going to put a 1 terabyte storage drive in there, and there we go. Or I might not even do that. I might just leave it as an SSD and just put in a brand new optical drive. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We're talking future stuff here. But I might just do that. Now, as far as putting them in vintage hardware, only as a last resort. I would only do that as an absolute last resort, and I'll tell you why. The reason for that... Wait, let's see if this loads. Oh, I gotta run to setup. The reason for that is, as a matter of fact, I'm trying to maintain the integrity of the system. I'm trying to maintain the sound and the noise and that's the same damn thing. Sound and noise. What the fuck? The latency and the noise or the sound of the hard drive. I'm trying to maintain, you know, the consistency of early 90s, mid 90s, whatever hardware. Now I would put an SSD or a CF adapter. They actually make CF card to IDE adapters, and they're great, you know, for certain things, but I wouldn't do that to this machine because this actually does a lot of caching. Now, one of the quickest ways to kill one of those CF cards is to write to it unnecessarily. We need to put some kind of a write filter on it, like they had with Windows XP embedded. I actually have had embedded systems that used I don't even know who made them, but they were IDE 512 megabyte storage devices. And and they were slow as molasses, absolutely slow as molasses. But they did the job. But the thing about those, like I said, you had to run right filters on them, because otherwise you would murder the device, because it couldn't handle. It just couldn't handle the constant pounding that that they were exposed to. Sorry. Test sound effects. Let's turn the volume up. Let's see what we got here. Cool. Choose music card. This is Duke Nukem 3D. This was my favorite game for a while, and then I just stopped playing it, and I'm going to get back into it. Now that I got this thing running again, I can actually use it, which is so cool. God, we got music. Yes. Hear it? Good. Alright. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up too. So there's a reason I actually took 3 months to find a hard drive for this thing. I wasn't in any hurry, and I wanted a brand new, old stock 10 gig drive, and I got it. And I paid pretty little for it, like 20 bucks I think I paid for the drive, and I'm okay with that, you know. I'm very okay with that. So yeah, you brought that up. Cool. If you're building a vintage computer for gaming, definitely make sure your sound card is like Sound Blaster 16 or 100% compatible, because if you don't, a lot of these games will not run properly. Oh yeah, does this have joystick support? Let's take a look. I think it does. I'm going to brighten this up a little bit. Parental lock? Really? Alright. I think that's actually... I gotta run that setup utility again. Let's do that. Because I'm pretty sure it supports joystick. No, it supports joysticks. Choose controller type. Keyboard and joystick. There we go. Set up joystick. It's only a 2-button. Yeah, it sucks. I'm gonna have to set up the controllers pretty much. Button 4 open. Oh, open doesn't mean what I think it means. So fire. Yeah, strafe. Okay. Double-clicked buttons. Enable rudder. Oh. All right, that's if you have a flight yoke, I think. There's no calibrate option though. That means it uses. Yeah, okay. All right. All right. Save and launch. Let's see how that works. I don't like this particular joystick. It really sucks. But it's all I could find at the time. I'm going to start looking for another joystick. I actually used to have a Logitech Wingman Attack. And that was a cool joystick. Center the joystick and press a button. So it calibrates when you start. Upper left corner. Press a button. So it's calibrated on startup. Yeah, the Wingman Attack, I think it was a genuine 4-button joystick, and it had a throttle control on it too. It's pretty cool. Alright, here we go.
Yeah, piece of cake.
There we go.
Damn, those alien bastards got paid for shooting up my ride.
So strafe, I gotta fix that. It's the wrong button. I want the trigger to be fire. But Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, I'm not even aiming the camera. Ah, you son of a bitch.
Dang, those alien bastards in that cave are shooting up my ride.
Watch this. I gotta change the... Alright, let's blow the fan up. That's right, you land right on a medikit, I think. Yeah, I got the controls wrong. Oh, cool, it's got the automatic fire turned on. No, it doesn't. And there it is. It's got an auto fire, but it's turned off. Oh, cool, it just does it. And I hit the space bar, I think. No, that doesn't open. That's right. Pick up a clip. There we go. I'm wasting ammo. But see, it doesn't have much acceleration here. I gotta hold it all the way forward. If I were to just use the arrow keys, I'd be faster. See, look. Now this is joystick full bore. Well, I guess about the same. Just not a very good joystick. So I gotta work on that. Who makes this one? It's a PC Raider. Oh gosh. Those were cheap. See, I'm hitting the wrong button. Damn it. Strafe is the wrong button. Okay. Alternatively, I could use the keyboard fire button, whichever I decide to use that for. Use the space bar for that. Is the mouse still? No, mouse is disabled. What happens if I shoot the fire extinguisher? Yeah, I think some of those will open up secret hideaways, but doing this one-handed. Okay, I got him. I need the ammo. There we go. Oh, you son of a bitch. Yeah, the control is... Is my phone ringing? So we pretty much covered a lot of topics in this video so far, and we're 27 minutes into it, which isn't bad. Ooh la la. Sister Act 3? Seriously? I haven't played this game in ages, but now I can. Now I can have fun with it, because but I'm going to get a better joystick. That's a must. This joystick sucks. The other thing is I have Microsoft Flight Simulator on here, so I want something a little better with more controls. I don't want to go out and buy a flight yoke, but because I mean an older flight yoke, those do come up every once in a while. I don't want that one. Why not? I'll put Real Fortune on there. These are yeah, there we go. We'll put that aside. I believe this runs in Windows 3.1 as well. Is this what I think it is? No, this is from 2000. 95, 98 only. I still have my Windows 3.1 46. It's actually under my bed right now, but when I have more room, I am planning on moving at some point. When I have a bigger house, I'm going to set that up too. I'm going to have an entire room. This is my plan. So, in a couple years, I'm thinking 2-3 years from now, this house will likely be paid for. And here's my goal. I want to get out of here. And I want to buy like a 3 or 4 bedroom house. And in that 4 bedroom house, if I can get a 4 bedroom, I'm going to have one room just full of computers, and they're all going to be set up and running. And then I'll have some scattered about the house here and there. That's my goal. That's my plan. That's what I want to do. I'm hoping I can get that done. We'll see. But at that point, I'm going to have the 486 running. I'm going to have, the Pentium running. I'm going to have it all, it'll be just one big lab. I'm going to have laptops opened and running and set up for people to use. so that when guests come over, they can, you know, pick out whatever machine they want to play with. And what I'd really like to do is set up a multiplayer Doom, you know, just like one whole big rack of machines that can just play, that'll just play Doom head to head, and multiplayer. I think you can do that. I've never done it. I'm sure it's supported, but yeah, I'm talking, you know, early Doom, you know, like Doom 1 or Doom 2. But, well, I'm going to call it a night. This is it for now. Thank you for watching, and if you're still with me, awesome. I hope we've had a nice one-way conversation. I need to do a YouTube live video. That's my next thing. I want to do a YouTube live video at some point. This way, you guys can ask me questions, and I'll answer them if they're appropriate enough. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do, and take requests. Kind of get to know my audience a little better. I only know you guys from the comments you leave. Some of them are better than others. Some of them are like, what the fuck? What are you thinking? So anyway, until then, guys, peace out.